In just 6 weeks, Seattle hosts the 2026 FIFA World Cup, where over 700,000 visitors are descending onto the Puget Sound region and Lumen Field. But here's the problem. Seattle is a city in the middle of the most ambitious transit expansion in its history. A $30 billion light rail program is still being built. A $5 billion airport overhaul has 120 projects running simultaneously. And a $1 billion waterfront transformation is in its final stretch. Seattle has 6 weeks to prove that everything it has been building is ready for the world. For a Seattle soccer fan, this moment has been 20 years in the making. The Seattle Sounders are one of the most supported clubs in Major League Soccer. The city has been a soccer town long before the rest of America caught up. And in 6 weeks, Lumen Field, home of the Sounders and the Seahawks, hosts 6 FIFA World Cup matches in front of 69,000 fans. 750,000 visitors are expected in the Puget Sound region over the course of the tournament. Direct spending projected at $652.6 million. Nearly 21,000 jobs supported. Over $100 million in direct state and local tax revenue. Visit Seattle calls it the largest sporting event in the region's history. Seattle was ready for this moment. It has been building toward it, sometimes without knowing it, for 3 decades. The transit lines opening this year. The airport upgrades wrapping up just in time. The waterfront transformation completed ahead of the World Cup window. The infrastructure was already coming. The World Cup just gave it a deadline. But the most dramatic piece of that infrastructure opened just 6 weeks ago, and it made history the moment it did. For a commuter driving from Bellevue to downtown Seattle every morning, the journey across Lake Washington has always meant one thing: traffic on the I-90 bridge. 40 minutes on a good day. But on March 28, 2026, the 2-line Cross-Lake connection opened, extending Seattle's light rail across Lake Washington on a floating bridge. The first passenger rail line in the world ever to operate this way. Downtown Seattle to downtown Bellevue in under 15 minutes. A 1-seat ride that didn't exist 2 months ago. This is what Sound Transit 3 looks like when it delivers. A voter-approved $30 billion light rail expansion covering 62 miles and 37 new stations across the Puget Sound region. The 1 line now runs from Linwood to Federal Way, opened December 2025. The 2 line now crosses the lake. A new Pinehurst infill station opens later this year. Sound Transit is building one of the largest transit expansions in American history, right as 750,000 World Cup visitors are about to stress test it. But here's the tension underneath the achievement. Sound Transit is facing a $34.5 billion funding gap projected through 2046. The West Seattle Link extension, $5 to $7 billion, is still in design. The Ballard Link extension, potentially $11 billion, is years away. The full ST3 program that voters approved in 2016 may cost significantly more than anyone projected. Seattle built a train across a lake. It's still figuring out how to pay for everything else. And while the trains are running, the front door to the city is being rebuilt from the ground up. For an international traveler arriving at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport right now, the first thing they notice is the construction. It is everywhere. SEA Airport is investing $5 billion over 5 years through its Upgrade SEA program. 120 simultaneous capital projects transforming every corner of the facility. C Concourse expansion adding 4 new floors of restaurants, lounges, and passenger amenities. S Concourse Evolution, a $674 million overhaul upgrading systems and public-facing areas. SEA Gateway, a $546 million redevelopment of the main terminal ticketing level in partnership with Alaska Airlines. And as we speak, the final sensors are being calibrated on a $746 million baggage system that unifies 6 separate legacy systems into one. Completing in 2026, just in time. The Port of Seattle's 2026 capital budget alone is $933 million. The 5-year aviation capital plan is $3.7 billion. This is not routine maintenance. This is a complete reimagining of the Pacific Northwest's primary international gateway, timed deliberately to wrap up before the World Cup begins. Nearly 46 million passengers flew through SEA last year. That number is growing. The airport that greets 750,000 World Cup visitors this summer will be meaningfully different from the airport that existed 3 years ago. The construction zones are still visible. The orange barriers are still up in places, but the upgrades wrapping up this spring represent the largest single investment in SEA's history. And once those visitors clear the airport and ride the train into the city, the first thing they are going to see is a waterfront that was buried for 60 years. For most of Seattle's modern history, the waterfront was hidden. A double-decker elevated highway called the Alaskan Way Viaduct ran directly between downtown Seattle and Elliott Bay. Built in 1953, damaged in the 2001 Nisqually earthquake. For 2 decades after the earthquake, Seattle debated what to do with a crumbling highway that blocked its most iconic view. The answer was a $4 billion SR-99 tunnel bored beneath downtown, one of the largest diameter tunneling projects in American history, completed in 2019. The viaduct came down, and what emerged on the other side was a mile of reclaimed waterfront that Seattle had not seen in 60 years. The new Seattle waterfront represents over $1.1 billion in construction. Waterfront Park, a $170 million public space project, is in its final phase with the last stretch of fundraising nearly complete. The Seattle Aquarium Ocean Pavilion opened in 2024, a nationally recognized model for sustainable marine construction focused on the Coral Triangle. The Elliott Bay Trail improvements, $45 million in philanthropist-funded upgrades, are promised by 2026, specifically timed for World Cup visitors walking between venues and the water. And the waterfront is just the beginning of what makes Seattle's transformation feel different from every other World Cup host city. Because Seattle isn't just building infrastructure for visitors, it is building infrastructure for what comes after. For the World Cup visitors arriving in Seattle this summer, the city they are walking into is unlike any other host city on the list. This is the city Amazon built. Microsoft, Boeing, Starbucks, Costco. Seattle has produced more globally dominant companies per capita than almost any American city. The tech economy that transformed South Lake Union from an industrial district into one of the most valuable urban neighborhoods in the country is still expanding, adding the kind of economic gravity that keeps drawing investment to the Pacific Northwest. A retired Boeing 747 jumbo jet is being transformed into the centerpiece of a South Lake Union development. Suspended between 2 high-rise buildings, 14 feet above a public walkway, repurposed as office space. Around it, apartments, shops, an art gallery, a music venue. Expected in 2026. A plane hanging between skyscrapers in the city where Boeing built the planes that connected the world. Step back and look at all of it simultaneously, and the question changes. The construction timelines are not a coincidence. They are a consequence of a city that keeps voting for transformation, even when the bills are still being calculated. There is real risk underneath the ambition. Sound Transit's funding gap is not a footnote. It is a genuine question about whether the full system voters approved will ever be delivered on the timeline they were promised. The airport is still mid-renovation. Parts of the waterfront are still being finished. Seattle is a city that is genuinely, visibly mid-build. But that is also what makes this moment unlike any other World Cup host city. Does Seattle's $30 billion bet pay off? Or is the funding gap the story nobody is telling? Drop your take in the comments. Thanks for tuning in this week. See you next time.